Brian and Trey are really have done a really tremendous job of taking care of their bodies this off season. Um, you know, um, they're going to be that's going to be a constant thing. They're going to have to continue to work on throughout the year. They're going to have to learn how to be pros before they become pros. But right now, they got to be the best Clemson Tigers they can be for themselves. And I really challenged them, as they've gotten cleared, all right, to play. But I've challenged them to make sure that they do a good job of kind of being more proactive in terms of taking care of their bodies. That comes down to just eating right, getting plenty of rest, and spending a lot of time in the training room, just kind of being proactive, stretching, getting in the ice tub. Those things are going to be really important for them as they move forward, just to prevent those injuries. And as everybody knows, we were decimated by injury at defensive line last year, which really hurt the team a lot. So been focusing on that, just really encouraging those guys, to kind of take care of themselves like pros. And oh yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. But like I mentioned earlier, man, we got to do a good job being proactive with our bodies and stretching and doing all the things to prevent injuries, which we've had a lot of them at the defensive line position in the past. So I've challenged them to do that. They stepped up to the challenge thus far. They're just going to have to be consistent throughout the season.
Is that something different than what they're used to from seasons past? I mean, what have you brought that's difference, with you from Auburn?
I think for me, just having the professional experience, I've been around a lot of great players, the Willie McGinnis, the Shannon Sharps of the world. One of those things that I've learned from being around pro guys that have played double-digit seasons and longer, man, it's all about how you take care of your body. Those guys spend a lot of time in the ice tub, spend more time trying to recover more than anything, the acupuncture, yoga, dry needling, whatever it takes, all right, to be able to recover. And so that's how you can extend your career. And so I've taken that knowledge that I've learned, in the pros and just kind of brought it to the college level, man, just trying to encourage guys, say, hey, guys, I don't know what you think that the pros are about, but, here's what I've seen and here's what I learned over the 18 years, 19 years that I was there in the league. And so I just passed on the information, and they trust me, at this point in time. So they stepped up to the challenge, and I see more guys in there working with Dr. Bina to take care of their bodies.
Did you describe just how freaky this defensive line will be?
We're very talented. I think that the great teams that I've been a part of and I've played with always have depth. And I think we have some of the best depth in the country. Everybody in the room can play. And so, it's talking about Brian Brzee, the Rook Ororo, Tyler Davis, and Peyton Page, and E.T. Rubin, Cape Hart, Trey Williams, they all bring, something to the table. And, it's a really good situation for me to be in as long as we stay healthy. But they can all do it all. Each one of them have their own set of skills that they're really good at and things they do well, and it's going to make us a really great defensive line. And if the guys put in the hard work, we'll be the best in the country. And so it's just my job to make sure that I'm demanding but not demeaning, and I challenge those guys every day. But we have all the tools you're looking for in the defensive line, and all of our guys in the room, we have it. I think it's just going to be a challenge for us to make sure we just stay healthy. And that's the biggest thing that I'm really focusing on, as well as just continue developing the talent in the room. I really truly feel like, you're always going to be developing talent, whether you're coaching in high school, whether you're coaching on the college level, or even in the pros. It's about developing your talent that you have. But these guys have the skill set to do it, and we're just going to move forward and just continue to work. He has been amazing. For me, I just actually was on the treadmill trying to lose a few pounds myself. But he was, he's been awesome. He's a tough kid. Mike Tomlin, something I learned I was in the Steelers, I'd rather say whoa than sick him. He's a kid that you have to say whoa, because he's always going to give you 150% everything that he has. And so it's just been, for me, it's just like, hey, man, you guys a long season. I need you for all. How many of us going to take to get to the national championship? I need you in all of those. And so, but he's working really hard. He's been great. Even when he was, still going through his rehab. He was present at practice, been present in meetings, and so he's been doing a really good job of just, not only getting back but continue to just, be more of a leader in the role that he's in.
Is he the most vocal leader you've got in your room? I know Tyler's kind of more of a soft-spoken type of guy. Lets his actions on the field do his talking.
Yeah, they all lead in their own way, but from vocally, probably more Tyler. I think my personality came in the room. They all kind of backed off and was kind of like, whoa, when I came in the room. But I would say it'd be Tyler, Root, Brazil. They all will talk. Cape Harp not so much, Peyton not so much. But leadership for me is action and example. Not a position or title. So. But those probably three guys would be more the vocal ones: Rook, Tyler, and Brazil.
Can you describe how this new defense or the defense is going to look under Coach Goodwin?
Yeah.
Comparison to what Coach Venables is?
Man, I just think for me, I'm going to work really, 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 really hard this year to assist Wes, be a servant to him, to help him be the best defensive coordinator in the country. I think, I know a lot of people, you may underestimate him, but hey, big surprises come in small packages. And with him standing at 4'11", I think people, I'm not going to be surprised, with the way our defense is going to look. I think Wes is going to bring his own taste and flavor to this defense. And I'm really excited about some of the things that he's going to do. We'll just be multiple. There are a lot of things we're going to do. We have a lot of talent, and we're going to do a great job of putting guys in position to make plays. And Wes knows the talents that we have at every position on every level. He studied the game. He knows the game. And I love working with him. He reminds me of Dick LeBeau, who I was my defensive coordinator, the Steelers, who I worked with when I was coaching at the Tennessee Titans. And he's going to put our guys in position to make plays. Man, I'm really, truly excited about it. Things are going to be a lot simpler, yet complicated at times when we need to be, and let our guys play fast. I think that's the difference.
He's a younger guy, relatively speaking, in coaching standards.
Yeah.
So, that speaks to a guy that's had a degree of talent. Or
Yeah.
You kind of just see it with this guy. So
Yeah.
for someone who might not be in the know, just describe to me what that is like with him.
With Wes,
Yes.
man, Wes knows. He studies the game. He loves the game. In his free time at home, he's probably drawing up plays, and I'm not just exaggerating. He knows from the back end to the front end, and he's always been like that since he stepped in this building. From just talking to Woody McCorvey and Coach Sweeney, because I didn't know Wes. We have a lot of mutual acquaintances from during the period of time he worked at the Arizona Cardinals out there with Bruce Arians. All those guys being from Pittsburgh, but those guys, man, spoke very highly of him. But man, he's a coach of the game. He knows it all, man. He really takes pride in what he does. He's a great family man, loves his wife and kids, and such a really good person, and that matters a lot to me. Just being a good person, man. He knows how to treat people right, and he's a guy you want to work for and work with. And I'm just excited for him to have this opportunity. He deserved it, I think a lot of times, people are just wondering, like, who is Wes Goodwin? But I guarantee you'll find out this season. And, we're going to, me and the rest of the support staff and assistant coaches, man, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure he succeeds by doing our part and having his back. And so with Wes, man, he's really smart. He's going to be able to make a lot of adjustments, which that's what it takes to be a defensive coordinator. You got to be willing to adjust, and he's going to be able to do that. He takes all of our opinions in consideration, and we all work together. We all have a part in this, so he's not by himself. So, man, I really love working with him. I'm very unselfish, and, he's going to have a lot of success, and players love him as well. So it's going to be great.
Walk into a room full of highly recruited guys.
Yeah.
What was it like to see guys like E.T. and Rook get the development they did last year due to injury and be where they are now?
Man, it was huge. That playing time did them a lot of good. If you go back, for me, I went back and studied a lot of tape from when they first got here until last year. And speaking of those two, Rook and E.T. made huge strides just with that playing time. And so, man, just looking forward to big things coming in the last year, And that's the unique thing about the defensive line room is when you have a lot of depth, next man up. And so, for guys like Rook and ET, this year is just going to be even better for me. The expectation is going to be higher, that I push them to be better versions of themselves. Yeah.
What about keeping guys fresh, having that rotation, the guys being able to keep those
Absolutely.
fresh all year?
Absolutely. Nobody should be loafing. All right. If you do, you might be in trouble because there's enough talent in this room that the next guy may take your spot the next week. So, I love being a part of that, man. Anytime you got competition in the room, it just makes everybody better. And so, I believe guys are going to step up to the challenge. But, man, we should be fresh. Guys should be going 110 miles per hour. As long as we stay healthy, man, we can be a really dominant defensive line this year with the talent that we have in the room, the guys that are coming back, and with everybody being healthy.
What about your ends? Coach over there coaches the ends, and you guys matching up with your tackles.
Yep.
How much of a luxury is it to have the set of ends you got?
Yeah.
Because when you're taking up those blocks, it's bringing those guys up.
Oh man, it's a huge luxury. I mean, you're talking about Miles and KJ and XT and Masco. Man, those are four guys who have all the tools to play at the next level, and they'll do a really good job, man. Me and Coach Ski and the defensive line, we all work together. We meet together often, and so it's all interchangeable. And with some of the things that we're bringing to the table this year, for myself and just kind of talking with Wes, man, we'll mix and move those guys around this year. So you'll see guys line up at different multiple positions, and this year from the ends being the tackles, and just really excited about it. But yeah, the talent level on the outside, man, just makes it easier. When you got dudes across the board, I mean, it's hard to kind of, protect one. I mean, you got to protect four. And if you look at the, guys in the NFL and, look at the Rams, I mean, the number of guys they got up front. And then people talk about Aaron Donald, but you also got Von Miller. You got Leonard Floyd. You got all these guys that you got to protect. And that's kind of how I see a defensive line. We have talent at every level. We have depth, guys that can come in and start, for us. And so, for me, there's no really, first team, second team, and they all first teamers in my eyes. And it's just an honor and pleasure to be able to coach them.
Who's been the transformation you've seen Peyton make over this last year?
Oh, man, Peyton Page, for me, had the most improved this spring. From where I heard that I wasn't here last year when he got here, but I heard he was almost 400 pounds. He looked like me. But, man, from the transformation he's made, coming in from last year and some of the things that I saw on tape, just what areas that he needed to improve on. I mean, he really stepped up to the challenge. He came in, changed his body. I think he's lost about 40, 50 pounds. I mean, he looks like a different person. And he had a really good spring. He's a guy that's going to be a dominant nose tackle on the interior, in the inside moving forward, man. He has all the tools, very smart, very engaged in meetings. And I'm looking for a really kind of breakout year for him this year. But I would definitely say he's the most improved. Next up would be DeMonte Capehart, who's really coming to his own. He's somebody that's dealt with a lot of injuries as well, and so I've just really challenged him this spring to stay healthy, man. And he really went through the spring without really any major injuries and was able to go out there and get reps, and he got better. He's somebody else that I'm expecting big things that are going to surprise a lot of people because he has all the tools, man. Kid's 6'5", 310 pounds, 305, man. He moves well. He just learned to just, play with great pad level and execute his technique and fundamentals. He's going to be dominant as well. So those are really two young guys, man, just really excited about that are going to be, I think, a surprise to a lot of people. Not a surprise to me, but they put in the work this offseason.
Nick, you've been recruiting at other schools for a few years. So there's no new business to you. But what was it like to come here and recruit for your school? What did that add to your recruiting this year?
Last year was my first year in college ball at Auburn. I was recently with the Cincinnati Bengals in 19 and 20, and I think a lot of people, for me, just was questioning like, well, how are you going to be able to recruit? And I laughed at that when some of the college coaches asked that, well, how are you going to be able to recruit? Well, I'm the one that's played in 2 Super Bowls. I played in the league for 11 years, and I'm from South Georgia, small town, so I know how to talk to people because everybody knows everybody where I'm from in Lyons. And so, being able to have authentic conversations with people was going to be real easy for me. But just, I just try to be my authentic self, man. This place, Clemson will sell itself. Our facilities, so I just need to get the recruits here. Dabo will knock it out the park being who he is. He's going to talk for about 4 hours, and you'll know everything about him, the facilities, our staff, his family. and the city of Clemson, you know. And so, and that's what make this place unique and better than any place in the country. It's the people in the building. I keep saying that, man. We have a wonderful staff, you know, just in every department of our facility, man. And everybody here is just good people. So if I can just get a recruit on campus, everybody else do their job, and man, it makes it easy for me to recruit. So it's easy. You know, I just really take time to allow recruits and their parents to see who I am as a person. You know, it's easy to go on the internet. You can Google and you send the places I've been, some of the things I've done, but you know, who really is Nick Eason? And that goes down to just, you know, talking about my past, and all of it ain't clean, you know, good. I didn't grow up with my dad, you know, in the house. My mom had me, she was 18 years old, lived with my grandparents, you know, who ended up getting their GEDs, but great people, got married. My grandmother was 14, my grandfather was 17. So people want to hear those things about who am I really as a person? Who are they going to be sending their son off to be with, to be around, to be molded as a man and as a football player for the next 3 or 4 years of their lives. And so, you know, for me, it makes it easy, you know. So I enjoy the recruiting process. You know, we're not going to get everybody. I'm not going to get everybody. The kids that love what we bring to the table as Clemson, you know, will come, and the ones that don't will go other places, you know, depending on what we're looking for. If you're looking for a faith-based program that's going to treat you like family, that's going to develop you as a man. I mean, we have Paul Journey, which is the best in the country, you know, and the Clemson's for you. If you're trying to, you know, chase dollars, this ain't the place for you, you know, and I'm okay with that. You know, NIL has really changed the game, and kids earn it, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, we don't lead with that. You know, we have NIL plans here at Clemson, but we're not going to lead with that, man. We want you to love Clemson like I loved and came here for reasons of education and the facilities and the people in this building, and how we can mold you as a man, and that hasn't changed. So I'm just really excited to be a part of it.
You feel like you've answered the questions about if you can recruit?
Huh?
You feel like you've answered those questions about if you can recruit?
No, I haven't answered the recruiting. Can I recruit? No. The thing about this for me is that, you know, recruiting is not a one-man job, and it's every day for me. And so, you know, as I continue to get the commitments coming in, I know I got to work even harder. You know what I mean? And so I try not to read the newspaper clippings, man. And I want to make sure I remain humble and stay hungry during this process, man. I think a lot of times, you know, people that have had success in recruiting, or teams that have had success in winning, get real comfortable, all right, and think they don't have to, you know, reach out to parents and talk to the coaches. But that's got to be an everyday thing, and it's got to be real too at the same time. You got to love what you're doing. But for me, yeah, I think I'm starting to answer those questions if I can recruit. So, you know, for me, it's just about being authentic, you know, just being real, being what you are, being respectful, loving on people, being a servant to people. And that's just who I've been. That's who I've always been.